I'd like to call the Macomb City Council to order. If you'd please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If the clerk would call the roll, please.
Mike Wayland.
Here.
John Vajezi.
Here.
Don Wynn.
Here.
Tom Cook.
Present.
Ashley Katz.
Here.
Tammy Lee Brown Edwards. Dennis Moon.
Here.
6 present.
We have a quorum. Thank you. I'd like to call a public hearing to consider a liquor license application for a Class R plus OL and SS license submitted by Los Charros East Incorporated, doing business as Los Charros, located at 1319 East Jackson Street, Macomb. We have the proprietor here with us. John, do you have just a minute? And this is the, I think what many people would know as the Los Tapatios business. Is that correct?
Yes.
So it's your intention to, or you have acquired the business, and it's your intention to get a liquor license to operate there. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Any, can you give us an idea what, anything going to change substantially other than you and your staff will be running a nice business there? Is that right?
Yes. Well, see, pretty much as most of you guys know about Los Charros on the west side, we're trying to do the same thing on this, but on the other side. For sometimes we get like really crowded with college being here, and the people from town can get in sometimes. So we're trying to expand on the other side to give everybody service. You know, also from people on the other side, like all those factories like Pella Corporation and them, they got to drive all the way across town, so that'll be much easier for them to eat over there.
Good,
at the east.
good. Any change in the hours of operation, or basically what that was there before, what you're doing at
Yes,
the
same
restaurant?
hours,
Okay.
same operation, yeah.
All right.
11 to 9, and weekends 11 to 10.
So the OL supplement is for the outdoor license, which there's a nice outdoor facility there.
Yes.
And then the SS is for Sunday sales, correct?
Yes.
All right. Does anyone from the council have any questions for John? Alderman Vajezi.
Just a quick question. Are you going to have the identical menu?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right.
I know a lot of people are thinking that.
All righty. Anyone else? Anyone have any other information they'd like to ask John, or anyone wish to speak in support of or in opposition to the license? All right, John, thank you. We'll have some more discussion here in a minute, and we'll have a first reading here on the agenda. We'll conclude the public hearing. Thank you very much. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Council, before you is a consent agenda, and a motion is in order.
Move to adopt as published. Second.
So moved and seconded to adopt the consent agenda as published. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Wayland.
Aye.
Vajezi.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Katz.
Aye.
Moon.
Aye.
All ayes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Citizens wishing to address the City Council under the public comment section of the agenda are asked to keep matters germane to the agenda of the meeting and will be limited to 3 minutes, and are asked to be brief and concise in making their remarks. Comments submitted by mail or email will not be read aloud, but a copy will be provided to each member of the council and made a part of the minutes of the meeting. Does anyone wish to speak under the public comment section of tonight's agenda? All right, hearing none, moving on to unfinished business, item number 1. Consideration of an ordinance to authorize the rezoning of 306 West Murray Street, Macomb, Illinois, 61455, in the city of Macomb, McDonough County, from R2 single-family residential to R3 two-family. This will be second reading.
Thank you. Idot Rentals, LLC has requested a rezoning of a parcel located at 306 West Murray Street here in Macomb, Illinois. The current zoning is R2 single-family residential. The proposed zoning is R3 two-family residential. Upon receipt of the application, a public hearing was scheduled for January 26, 2022. Written notice of the scheduled public hearing was served upon all record owners of real estate within 250 feet. Publication of the notice was had in the community news brief, and a sign was posted at the subject property. The matter was referred to Planning Commission for public hearing, which was held January 26, 2022 at 5:15 p.m. At the conclusion of that agenda item, the commission voted 8-0 to approve the application and recommended that council approve the rezoning request. If adopted, the ordinance would provide for the zoning of the subject property as described in the attached Exhibit A, to be modified from R2 Single Family Residential to R3 Two Family, and would authorize the Office of Community Development to update the city's official zoning map.
Thank you. That'll stand as second reading. A motion is in order.
Make a motion to rezone 306 West Murray Street, Macomb, from R2 Single Family Residential to R3 Two Family.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the change in the zoning at 306 West Murray. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Vajezi,
Aye.
Wynn,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Katz,
Aye.
Moon,
Aye.
Wayland,
Aye.
all ayes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 2, consideration of an ordinance to authorize a special use permit to allow 5 residential units on a parcel in a B2 General Business District at 217 West Carroll Street here in the city. This will be second reading.
Thank you. Legacy Investments Properties LLC filed a request for a special use permit to permit 5 residential units on a parcel in a B2 General Business District at 217 West Carroll Street, Macomb, Illinois. A public hearing was held in front of the Planning Commission on January 26, 2022. Written notices were served upon all of the owners of real estate within 250 feet of the subject property. Notice was published in the Community News Brief, and a sign was posted at the property. The Community Development Office did not receive any comments in favor of or against the proposed special use permit. Following the public hearing in front of the Planning Commission, they did vote 8-0 to grant the special use permit and recommended that City Council approve. If adopted, the ordinance would provide that the subject property would be granted a special use permit to permit 5 residential units on a parcel in a B2 General Business District at 217 West Carroll, and would authorize the Office of Community Development to update the city's official zoning map.
Thank you. That'll stand as second reading. A motion is in order.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize a special use permit at 217 West Carroll Street. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Wynn,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Katz,
Aye.
Moon,
Aye.
Wayland,
Aye.
Vajezi,
Aye.
all ayes.
Motion carried. Thank you. There is no other unfinished business. Under new business, item number 1, consideration of an ordinance to create a Class R plus OL SS liquor license for Los Charros East Incorporated, doing business as Los Charros. This will be first reading.
Thank you. Los Charros East Incorporated, doing business as Los Charros, located at 1319 East Jackson Street in Macomb, Illinois, has requested approval of the site for sale of alcoholic beverages on the subject property, and that council create a Class R plus OL and SS liquor license. Upon receipt of the application, we compiled a list of record owners within 250 feet of the property and mailed notice to all of those owners, and we also posted sign on the property. Notice of tonight's public hearing was published in the Community News Brief. We have also arranged with the Macomb Police Department to conduct required background investigations of the applicant as well as the resident manager. At this time, the city has not received any written protest from any of the record owners. Prior to this meeting, there was a public hearing. A representative from Los Charros East was present and presented information about the business. And if adopted, the ordinance would find that council desires to approve the site for the sale of liquor and to create a Class R plus OL and SS license for Los Charros East, doing business as Los Charros.
Thank you. That'll stand as first reading, and that'll lead us into item number 2, consideration to authorize the Committee of the Whole power to act on the ordinance to create a Class R plus OL and SS liquor license for Los Charros East Incorporated, doing business as Los Charros, at their meeting scheduled for next Monday, March 14th.
Move to give the power to act on the ordinance for R plus OL liquor license for Los Charros East.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to grant power to act. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Cook,
Aye.
Katz,
Aye.
Moon,
Aye.
Wayland,
Aye.
Vajezi,
Aye.
Wynn,
Aye.
all ayes.
Motion carried. Thank you. So that'll be placed on the agenda for action, second reading and action then the Committee of the Whole next Monday. Item number 3, consideration to approve the updates to the McDonough County Public Transportation Passenger Handbook. There's a memorandum in your packet from the Transit Director. Ms. Lambert, would you kind of summarize where we're headed here, please?
Yes, good evening, everyone.
So back in December, McDonough County Public Transportation had an Idot compliance review, and during this time, that provides the agency to have Idot go through a number of different topics to see if we're in compliance with both Idot grants and the FTA. During this time, one of the topics was ADA compliance, and we had a few deficiencies, both within our handbook and policies. So within our handbook, we had to update verbiage, one of the main ones being eligibility criteria for ADA paratransit. And as highlighted in the attachment, you can see what that new verbiage is, as well as the verbiage for service may be refused to someone who engages in violent, seriously disruptive, or illegal conduct. So this is the verbiage that both IDOT and the FTA are now using with transit agencies. And then two of the things that were removed because they are no longer relevant to the handbook is that attendance may be required for passengers with conditions that may cause them to be disruptive or to accost other passengers. Attendance are not required, and you can't state that, so that has been taken out, as well as passengers with excessive no-shows or late cancellations as defined in the passenger no-show procedure and cancellation procedures may be denied service after appropriate notification. That is something that you cannot take away service based on no-shows.
Thank you. There's any questions for Ms. Lambert? We'd entertain a motion to adopt the amendments to the passenger handbook.
Make a motion to approve the updates to the McDonough County Public Transportation Passenger Handbook.
Second.
Moved and seconded to adopt the changes. Any discussion? Just one note, Miranda, there is also a further definition of a service animal in the changes as well. Is that right?
Correct. That was added. So again, the consultant that we're using, Jamie, has noted she works across the country with transit agencies to update their handbooks. So she noted to put that there to provide extra clarification.
Super. Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Katz,
Aye.
Moon,
Aye.
Wayland,
Aye.
Bajesi,
Aye.
Wynn,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
All ayes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 4, consideration to approve the updates to the McDonough County Public Transportation ADA policy. There's also a memorandum in your packet from Miranda as well. Could you go over that for us, please?
Yes, so as highlighted, you'll also see those same changes to the eligibility categories for complimentary paratransit services. The other big thing that we had to change in our ADA policy is the use of the word common wheelchair. That is now, the correct verbiage for ADA policies is mobility aid device. And then with that being said, you had to take out the certain measurements that were posted and that it cannot weigh more than 600 pounds. So how it's stated is what the vehicle can actually withhold with the weight of the mobility aid device. And that is also in the highlighted section. So again, you'll see it as defined as a 3 or more wheeled mobility aid device usable indoors, designed for and used by individuals with mobility impairments, whether operated manually or powered.
Any questions from Miranda on that? Okay, we'd entertain a motion to adopt those changes as well.
Make a motion to approve the updates to the McDonough County Public Transportation ADA policies.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adopt the ADA policy changes. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Moon,
Aye.
Wayland,
Aye.
Bajesi,
Aye.
Wynn,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Katz.
Aye.
All ayes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Thanks,
you.
Miranda. Item number 5, consideration to authorize a 1-year extension of the fuel contract with Petroleum for the Public Works Department and Macomb Transit Facility. There's a memorandum in your packet from the Public Works Director, Ms. Ortman.
Good evening. As you may remember, we went out for bid last year for a new fuel contract, and our low bidder was Petroleum. And we had 3 or 4 other bids as well, but they were the lowest. As part of that contract, it gives us the option to enter into a 1-year extension of that contract if both parties are agreeable. I called called Hare. They were up for extending it for a year, so we're asking permission to enter into a one-year extension of the fuel contract.
Any questions for Alice? Alderman Vajezi.
The prices that you have here are with the current escalation of fuel prices. These are locking in these prices for us for right now?
What this locks in is the Hare's markup per gallon, so yes, that marks it, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Excuse me, we'd entertain a motion to enter into an agreement of a one-year extension for a fuel contract with Hare Petroleum.
So move.
Second?
It's moved and seconded to authorize a one-year extension. Any discussion? This includes all the fuels, both for Public Works and the transit system.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
All righty. Anyone else? All righty. Hearing no further discussion, roll call, please.
Wayland,
Aye.
Vajezi,
Aye.
Wynn,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Katz,
Aye.
Moon,
Aye.
all ayes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Council, the next three items, 6, 7, and 8, are all interrelated. So there's a memorandum in your packet from the Public Works Director regarding the consideration to enter into an agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation for modernization of existing traffic signals at the intersection of Jackson and Campbell Streets. There's also going to be some discussion about a funding resolution with Idot in the amount of $7,084, and then a resolution authorizing the improvements in that amount. That's our portion. So Alice is going to go over all that in one memo, but the next three items are all interrelated. Alice?
So we were approached by Idot earlier, or late last year. They're going to do a new mast arm here at Campbell and Jackson. And the way that it works with them, we're responsible for a certain percentage of the cost. And based on their cost estimate, they are estimating that to be $7,084. I don't have my glasses, sorry about that, $84. The maximum that we would be responsible for would be 125% of that. So if the bids come in higher, the most we would have to pay out would be 125% of that amount. And obviously, if the bids come in lower, we'll pay them less. For the contract we had with them last year when they redid the traffic signals, it was actually less. So it does work in our favor sometimes. For whatever reason, the agreement comes with a resolution built into it. So that's one of the resolutions. And then the second resolution is similar to the MFT resolution that we do every year, authorizing us to use MFT funds to pay for our portion of this work. So that's why there's two separate resolutions.
Any questions for Alice? We'd entertain a motion regarding item number 6 to enter into the agreement with IDOT for the modernization of existing traffic signals at the intersection of Jackson and Campbell Street.
Move to enter an agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation for the modernization of existing traffic signals at the intersection of Jackson and Campbell Streets.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Alice, just real quick, so this, and you can stay there. This is an upgrading of the push buttons to activate the crossing signals? Okay. Pretty significant. Okay. I'm sorry, is there any other discussion? All right, hearing none, roll call, please.
Vajezi,
Aye.
Wynn,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Katz,
Aye.
Moon,
Aye.
Wayland,
Aye.
all ayes.
Motion carried, thank you. Then item number 7, consideration of the funding resolution with IDOT, excuse me, in the amount of $7,084 for modernization of those same signals at that same intersection. Entertain a motion to approve the funding resolution.
So move.
I'm sorry.
Second?
Okay, can I have her do that after? Okay, sorry. A little out of sequence here, sorry. Moved and seconded, and if we could have the attorney read it into the record, please. I'm sorry.
Thank you. The resolution does provide that the city has entered into an agreement for the modernization of existing signals at the intersection of US 67 and US 136. In compliance with that agreement, the city must appropriate sufficient funds to pay its share of the cost of the improvement. The resolution would provide that it's appropriated the sum of $7,084 for those improvements. Upon award of the contract, the city would pay to the Department of Transportation in a lump sum from the funds allocated to the city an amount equal to 80% of its obligation, and the remainder in a lump sum upon completion of the project. The city would also agree to pass a supplemental resolution to provide necessary funds for its share of the improvement.
Thank you. And then any further discussion? Would note in your packet, there's a copy of this resolution, and it outlines the breakdown of the actual costs. Allison, am I reading that correctly? The estimated cost for the entire project is $471,000?
That is probably for their entire project where they're doing other work in other cities as well.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Wynn,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Katz,
Aye.
Moon,
Aye.
Wayland,
Aye.
Vajezzi,
Aye.
all ayes.
Motion carried. Thank you. And then item number 8, consideration of a resolution for improvements under the Illinois Highway Code for those modernization of those same signals at Jackson and Campbell Streets in the amount of $7,084. If the city attorney would read that resolution.
Thank you. The resolution provides that the following described streets and roads would be improved under the Illinois Highway Code, work to be done by contract. It is the intersection of US 67 and US 136. Again, it's modernization of the traffic signals at that intersection. There is appropriated the sum of $7,084 for the improvement, and authorizes those funds to be paid from the city's allotment of motor fuel tax funds, and resolves that the clerk will be directed to transmit 4 certified originals of the resolution to the Department of Transportation.
Thank you. That'll stand as reading of the resolution of the record, reading a motion to authorize.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution. Any discussion? And just for clarification, it's $49,000 and total of $61,600. Does that sound right?
That was engineering. You were right. The total cost for construction, or the total cost for the entire project is the $471,000.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Cook,
Aye.
Katz,
Aye.
Moon,
Aye.
Wayland,
Aye.
Vajezzi,
Aye.
Wynn,
Aye.
all ayes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 9, consideration to authorize the purchase of a V-Box salt spreader from Sourcewell in the amount of $18,250 for the Operations Division of Public Works. There's a memorandum in your packet from the Operations Manager, Mr. Whitford. Brad, would you mind coming up and going over that for us, please?
Hello. This is a V-Box spreader that's 15 years old that just needs updated. We have it budgeted. It's already for 20,000. It's 18,250 through Sourcewell.
Any questions for Brad? Entertain a motion to authorize the purchase.
Move to approve a V-Box salt spreader from Sourcewell in the amount of $18,250.
Second.
It's moved and seconded to authorize a purchase. Any discussion? Brad, this is a salt spreader we slip in the back of one of our dump truck beds. Is that right?
Correct.
So it's been getting a lot of use the last couple of months, I would assume. All righty. And this is actually in an amount that's slightly under what we had budgeted for it. Does that sound right? All righty. Any other discussion this evening? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Katz,
Aye.
Moon,
Aye.
Wayland,
Aye.
Vajezzi,
Aye.
Wynn,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
all ayes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Excuse me. Item number 10, consideration to authorize soliciting bids for a mini excavator for the Operations Division of the Public Works Department. There's also a memorandum in there from Brad regarding that as well. Brad, could you go with that for us, please?
This is looking to go out for bids for a mini excavator with a trade-in of a older backhoe. Looking hopefully somewhere 30 to 35,000 for a trade-in on our backhoe. An excavator is right in there around 80 to 85 up front. Just asking for permission to collect bids.
Thank you. Any questions for Brad? Alderman Moon.
I have a couple of questions. One is, I know we discussed this last year in the budget process, and when I get done, would you remind us why we why you've chosen a mini excavator over another backhoe? And then, do we have the means to transport that?
Yes.
So we're not gonna have to go out and buy a trailer?
Nope.
I think I asked you that during budget session last year.
Going to work the poundage with the trailer we have, yes.
And
Yeah,
then
it'll
could-
be- I will want to know at the time what the weight of the machinery is and what the capacity of the trailer we're proposed to use is. So, thank you. But could you remind us or explain to us why you're decided to go with a mini excavator as opposed to the backhoe?
It just seems like more and more that we're getting into residents' yards deeper and deeper with these storm sewers that are failing. So, you know, we've had to always rent one. I think it could benefit us with other situations also. Just faster, the ability to be able to place your spoils in a backhoe, front, back.
So we have rented them in the past to use in tight spots?
Yes,
Didn't realize that.
yeah. We've had more and more, it seems like, in the last few years with these, the storm sewer situations.
They have their usage.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ready, we'd entertain a motion to approve the solicitation for bids for the purchase of a mini excavator for the Operations Department.
Make a motion to authorize soliciting bids for a mini excavator for the Operations Division of the Public Works.
Second.
Moved and seconded to authorize the solicitation of bids. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Moon,
Aye.
Wayland,
Aye.
Bajesi,
Aye.
Wynn,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Katz,
Aye.
all ayes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the hard work you guys have been doing this winter, too, as well. Thank you. Item number 11, consideration to authorize soliciting bids for the South Dudley Street resurfacing project and enter into an engineering agreement with IMEG Corporation for bidding assistance in the amount not to exceed $3,500. There's a memorandum in your packet from the Public Works Director going over the terms of the agreement and the proposed improvements. Alice?
So this particular agreement is only for bidding assistance because that work will be done before the end of this fiscal year. And then once we get a contract in, we'll get construction observation under a separate contract. But we figured we'd get this closed out under this fiscal year. The plan is to advertise the project in the Idot bulletin, not this Thursday, but the following Thursday, and then open bids in early April and make award at the last council meeting in April. We still have to coordinate it with the water main installation, but we want to make sure that we got everything in place before it gets too late into the year.
Very good. Any questions for, excuse me, Alice?
One.
Alderman Moon.
I know the bidding assistance is always a separate item when we do it, but correct me, I thought we always included that with the design portion of it, not necessarily.
No, I think it's usually included with the construction observation and administration contract.
But
Yeah.
we're not doing that this time. We're just going to bid.
We're just
the-
going to do the one, that way we don't have a contract that splits fiscal years.
Okay.
Probably doesn't really matter in the long run, but it seemed like
No.
a good idea at the time.
Get it done.
Get it done. And, you know, and if we get a good contractor, maybe we can pay less for construction administration. Yeah.
Never hurts to think positive.
Yes.
Alrighty, we'd entertain a motion to authorize the solicitation for bids on the surfacing project and the bidding document agreement with IMEG for not to exceed $3,500.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to authorize. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Wayland,
Aye.
Bajesi,
Aye.
Wynn,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Katz,
Aye.
Moon,
Aye.
all ayes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 12, excuse me, consideration of an ordinance amending section 17-26 of the Macomb Municipal Code pertaining to the official zoning map. This will be first reading.
Thank you. The ordinance provides that the city is authorized to adopt all necessary ordinances, rules, and regulations. Provides that I am recommending to council for its consideration and approval an amendment to Chapter 17, Section 26 of the Municipal Code of Macomb. If adopted, council would find that it is in the best interest of the city and its desire to amend Chapter 17, Section 26. The amendment provides that the official zoning map would include the contiguous unincorporated area within 1.5 miles from the city limits of Macomb, and it would be amended and adopted by ordinance and published annually in accordance with the provisions of the Illinois Municipal Code. The map that's published annually would include all amendments, changes, or modifications made in the prior calendar year. The other modification would be any available or interested parties, rather, that would like a copy, a full-size copy of that map. The cost would be $25, and I will tell council that's a change from the original proposal based on discussions with staff on the actual cost.
Thank you. That'll stand as first reading, and that'll be on for discussion at next Monday's Committee of the Whole. Item number 13, consideration of an ordinance approving and causing publication of the official zoning map of the city of Macomb, Illinois. This will be first reading.
Thank you. The ordinance provides that the Illinois Municipal Code requires the City Council of the City of Macomb to publish each year a map showing the existing zoning classifications and revisions made during the preceding calendar year. The Community Development Coordinator has submitted the proposed official zoning map, which is attached to the ordinance. Each amendment and modification to the zoning map has been previously approved by both Planning Commission and codified by an ordinance passed by City Council in the previous calendar year. If adopted, council would approve and adopt the new official zoning map. The maps are entitled City of Macomb, Illinois Zoning Maps, Zoning Districts Map A, and City of Macomb, Illinois Zoning Districts Map B, and would be approved collectively as the official zoning map of the City of Macomb. The clerk would publish a full-size copy of the official zoning map, and copies would be available for inspection and purchase at a cost of $25 per map.
Thank you. That'll stand as second reading. It's our intention to have both of those maps in a large enough print that you can see and read available at next Monday's Committee of the Whole. And I say that only half-jokingly. They're really hard. They're very good. They're here too, but we'll have them on display next week as well. And in my effort to, there we go. Thank you so much. Little paper today. So item number 14, consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 4 of the Municipal Code regulating alcoholic beverages. This will be first reading.
Thank you. The ordinance provides that the city is a non-home rule unit of government, that we are authorized by Section 4-1 of the Illinois Liquor Control Act of 1934 to establish regulations and restrictions for the sale of alcoholic liquor. The city has the authority to adopt amendments in accordance with the Illinois Municipal Code, and we are recommending an amendment to and recodification of Chapter 4 of the Municipal Code of Macomb. If adopted, the ordinance would find that it is in the best interest of the city to amend and recodify Chapter 4 as recommended. Chapter 4, as amended, the current version would be stricken in its entirety and replaced with Chapter 4 as it appears in Exhibit A. I will not go through Exhibit A in its entirety. However, portions, primarily, we're going to change the name of the chapter to alcoholic beverages. We have modified gender pronouns throughout to be gender neutral. We have clarified the notification and public hearing provisions in accordance with our current procedures. Those are now all set out in Section 4-85. We've made corrections to statutory citations as required. We've reorganized Article 4, listing the different classes alphabetically and renumbering as appropriate. We've moved all supplementary licenses to their own section and listed which licenses are available within each classification. We have added the permission to sell wine and spirits to Class M and Class MB in accordance with recent state liquor code changes. We've modified Section 4-88 concerning video gaming to require compliance with all state, federal, and local regulations, including the posting of any signage. And we have modified Section 4-108 and 4-109 to mirror the state code concerning scheduling of pricing and removing the absolute prohibition of happy hours as long as they are in compliance with state code. Most significantly, we are also proposing the addition of a new Class D license. This license would be available to permit the sale and serving of alcoholic beverages for on-premises consumption only, and only as an incidental part of a business. It would be available to businesses that primarily function as a full-service personal care establishment and a retail establishment selling non-food goods and services other than motor vehicle sales and massage. There would be a limit of 10 seats in the bar area, a limit of no more than 3 servings per customer per day, no sales outside of the normal business hours, same age limits for tending bar and serving alcohol, and the only supplementary license that would be available would be the Class SS for Sunday sales.
Thank you. That'll stand as first reading, and as noted, there were a number of household items in that, and then the new classification. That will be on for further discussion at next Monday's Committee of the Whole. Item number 15, consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 5 in the Macomb Municipal Code pertaining to the regulation of video gaming terminals. This will be first reading.
Thank you. The ordinance provides that the City of Macomb is a non-home rule unit of government. The Illinois Video Gaming Act regulates the operation, licensing, and administration of video gaming, and the city has the authority to limit, license, and regulate video gaming within the city. The city is also authorized to establish regulations and restrictions upon the issuance of licenses. If adopted, the city would determine that it is advisable, necessary, and in the best interest to regulate, consistent with the Video Gaming Act, the licensing and operation of video gaming terminals within the city. The ordinance would also establish a new Division 3 in Chapter 5 of the Municipal Code and an amendment to Chapter 5, Section 132 of the Municipal Code, both set forth in the exhibits attached to the ordinance. The amendment to Section 5-32 simply provides that video gaming terminals are to be conducted in accordance with the Video Gaming Act and this article. And Division 3 is new and provides for licensing to all video gaming within the city, provides the liquor commissioner with authority to supervise all video gaming operations within the city, to investigate the applicants. He would have jurisdiction and supervision over the video gaming within the city, the ability to inspect as necessary. The main thing that this would provide is for a $250 licensing fee that would be divided equally between the terminal operator and the applicable licensed establishment. That license would run concurrently with the applicant's liquor license, which is required to obtain a gaming license under state law. So there would be a slight proration on the first year of that license. The ordinance would also provide that you can have no more than 6 video gaming terminals in any establishment other than a large truck stop establishment, and in those establishments you can have 10. And we have also required, I believe, a minimum of 1 seat outside of the gaming area per terminal, up to a maximum requirement of 4 seats.
Okay, that'll stand as first reading on that as well, and we'll have that on for further discussion at next week's Committee of the Whole meeting. There is no other new business this evening. Any committee reports?
One more.
I'm sorry.
16.
Oh, I'm sorry. Apologize. Item 16, consideration or authorizing the sale of certain personal property, including equipment and vehicles owned by the City of Macomb. This will be first reading.
Thank you. The city has authority pursuant to the Illinois Municipal Code to dispose of personal property that is no longer necessary, useful, or beneficial to retain. The city is authorized to dispose the property in one of 3 ways listed in the Illinois Municipal Code. Authority to do so is required by a simple majority of the corporate authorities holding office. Based on the opinions of staff and department heads, if adopted, the council would find that the listed properties are no longer necessary, useful, or beneficial to the city, and authorize and direct the mayor or his designee to sell the property by all appropriate and available means authorized under the Illinois Municipal Code.
Thank you. I stand as first reading. There are a list of several items from several different departments, and likely between now and the second reading, there will be additional items added to that list. There is no other business now on the agenda. We'd entertain any committee reports. Hearing none, automatic reports. Alderman Moon.
No report.
Thank you. Alderman Katz.
No report.
Thank you, Alderman Cook.
No report, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Nguyen.
No report, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Vajezi.
No report, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Whalen.
No report, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Bannon, we didn't have a chance to hear you this evening. Anything from your office? Okay. Ms. Falk, anything?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, Ms. Scalf?
No report, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. City Administrator?
No report, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Don't believe there's any other business that come before you this evening. We'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, meeting adjourned.